This job, I'm the Transitional Discharge Model Coordinator for an organization called Peer Support Southeast Ontario. I'm sorry, I get a little choked up when I talked about this job because I am so proud of what I do and who I work with. I'm responsible for everything hospital related across Southeast Ontario, meaning I'm in charge of the staff who attend the BER4 program twice a week for 2 hours weekly, also for the staff that's embedded in the intentional transitional treatment program at KGH as well. You'll find me in Belleville on Tuesday afternoons running peer support groups as well as matching, which I'll get into in a second. You'll find me at Providence Care, this beautiful location we're at today. I'm here Wednesday through Friday. You'll find me on every single adult mental health unit running groups and doing matchmaking, which is incredible feat for our organization. I'm very, very proud. So when I say when I do matchmaking, I'm considering myself the mental health / addictions matchmaker for Peer Support Southeast Ontario. So my job is to connect people before they leave, before they're discharged, with a peer in the community who's going to be able to support them on one-on-one for an hour or so each week for what we call intentional peer support. Ideally, I want to match someone 2 to 3 weeks before they actually leave the hospital. A lot of time you're going to see me at Lake Ontario Park just with a little box of Timbits and a couple of ice caps. And it just looks like 3 people having a good time, but it's really me doing an official match for peer support. So after those two meet, the staff and the peer, which we call the patient after they leave, will arrange for those 1 hour meets for up to a year's time. So it's a really brilliant, brilliant program. It was created by a nurse called Cheryl Forchuk, I believe in '92. It was the belief that people heal in relationships. That was the paramount belief. It was tried out in several hospitals in Ontario, and it was started in Providence Care in 2014. It became a full functioning program after the trial project in 2015. The goal is to match people before they leave the hospital so that they have that support, because when people are discharged from hospital, which I think most people who've been in hospital can attest to, you go from having this all-around support, like you have OTs, you got your nutritionists, you got doctors, you got pharmacists and everything, and then you're discharged, and it's not to the healthcare system's fault, it's just the budget cuts and whatever, but you go out to nothing, or you have your next appointments in 6 months from now. So the TDM program is created to help bridge that gap in services. So that way they'll have someone who has lived experience that they can talk to and get support from while waiting for those other services to kick in. To be able to see someone, to be able to be free in expressing who they are and their symptoms, and to finally find a normalcy with someone else about it, to see that relief come across someone's face and shoulders, it's incredible. Once someone's been matched, the likelihood of them re-entering hospital it goes down significantly. I believe it's 46%, I believe. Yeah, if they've been matched with a peer. I've seen less readmissions, but some people, if they're readmitted for a very short time. It's kind of like a quick tune-up and they're out with their peer again. I think the biggest issue with mental health is the isolation, right? So I think people tend to get much sicker when they're isolated. So when they have someone to check in with them for an hour or so each week on a weekly basis, I think that can make or break someone's recovery sometimes. Just to have that lived experience person to share with. So I've been running it for close to 4 years, and I'd say the big challenges are being accepted as an important part of the team, the interdisciplinary team at the different hospitals. I think it's taken some time, but I think we're there now. All depending on the hospital, I'd say overall well. Providence Care has been above and beyond in their reception for me. They've provided me with my own workspace, they provided me with my own supplies. They actually decided as a team, the Queen's students did a fundraiser, and they decided as a team to give the funds to my group to purchase new equipment for my dance parties and stuff like that. So Providence Care fully accepts and I think loves what we do, and I love them too, so it kind of goes both ways. The other hospitals are there, and we're getting there with them. I just think Providence Care has made it more of a priority, and they actually see the benefits of it. They see that I'm not coming in to threaten their work. I can't do what they do, the clinical side, and I don't want to do what they do. I do peer support, and that's our different roles, and I think when we work in a complementary fashion, that's why it's been such a success. I'd say in the past 4 years, I've matched over 100 people easy. One success story would be a woman who contacted me actually not that long ago. I helped her through a really difficult time, and she contacted me and to let me know that she had left her abusive spouse. She's on her own, has a full-time job, and is doing really well, and she said that was all thanks to peer support. So that to me makes everything worthwhile. I don't know if you've noticed I have this horrible streak in my hair. Reason being, I helped support a patient who hadn't left the hospital in a long time to go out for Christmas. She wanted to get her nails done, her hair done, and get poutine and egg rolls all in the same day. So of course I'm going to jump at an opportunity like that. Come on, that's like awesome. But anyways, we're in the hair salon. She looks at me. She's like, "Donna, get in the chair. There's extra dye." I'm like, oh, all right. So this is one of those success stories, I guess, for her, because she got out. I'm really unhappy with this, but so on. I see the TDM program in the future. We're going to be starting in Brockville very shortly. I'm guessing in the fall I'm going to start doing some weekly groups there with the goals of matching once we get some more fuller staff out there. Ideally, I see us in the emergency rooms. I see that being a crucial game changer for those of us who have had to access the emergency room when we've been sick. To be able to have someone with lived experience who's been going through something similar, I think that'll change a lot, change absolutely a lot. I'd like to see us embedded in the crisis teams. I think that just makes absolute sense to have us traveling along with those teams to deal with those people in their mental distress. But right now, for the future, I don't want to do anything different. This is what I want to do. If I ever had to get into a more admin position where I was taken away from working with the patients one-on-one, then I'd have to rethink things. But right now, this is where I'm meant to be. This is what I'm meant to be doing. It sounds kooky, but I believe I'm on a mission. And this is a revolution that all of us peer supporters are on, is to change the healthcare system for better. I think there are definitely challenges in hiring people with lived experience. It's questioning, are they ready yet? Are they in tune with their wellness to know when to know the boundaries to stop at, if that makes any sense. I find a lot of times when people are coming back after a period of being off, they want to promise the world and they want to do anything and everything, right, to get the job or make the job or whatever you want to call it. But luckily in this line of work, that's not the case. Your mental wellness is more of a priority to us because we want you to stick around and we want you to be a good peer to the people I match to at the end of the day. So there are challenges. You have to, I think for myself, I've managed other people in other positions that didn't have lived experience. There's just this, it's a kinder touch or a kinder way of talking to people. But in saying that, I think too, it's a real blessing to work with staff with lived experiences because what you see is what you get. And that's the currency I like to deal with. If they're having a rough day, they're going to tell you they're having a rough day. And I appreciate that more than people know because that's something we can deal with together. If I was talking to someone who's just beginning on their journey of recovery, I would say be gentle with yourself. I find people are so hard. Like, this is going to sound so corny again, but if you break your leg, you get crutches, right? People are so kind to you. They open the doors or like, oh, do you need a pillow under your foot, right? But when you leave hospital for your brain, you don't get that same thing, right? So what I try to say to the patients when they leave is that you have to remember that you're healing. Your brain's not going to heal overnight, just like a leg doesn't heal overnight. You have to take the time and consideration, but don't push. Don't go back to work before it's too soon because your work's pushing you to go. It's just going to get you sicker and then you won't have a job when you can really go back. The best thing to start off with would be to volunteer. I think start off volunteering, that helps you get your confidence up, and that's what I suggest to everybody I meet now because there's no real pressure and people are so grateful when you volunteer, right? So it's kind of a win-win situation. I would start off like that to get the confidence up and then find a job that works for you that you actually like. I've been at jobs where I really detested what I was doing or who I was working with and so on. That I was going crazy going to work each day because it wasn't right. And it's like trying to fit something that's not right. So I would highly recommend take the time to find something that works for you if you can, if something you have a passion about as well. But also, like I was saying earlier, don't push yourself. Don't push yourself to try and compete like other people. I'd also suggest find out who your real supports are. So it's to look at who those friends are, who's going to support you in your recovery and in your journey of wellness, and who's trying to sabotage you. Any last piece of advice for someone on their journey of recovery? Learn how to self-advocate, and if you're not at a place where you can, bring someone you trust to advocate for you for those first few appointments when you need to go. So surround yourself with good people, surround yourself with good hobbies that make you feel good, and don't push yourself if you're not ready.